Alright guys, so I've got a slightly different video here. It's kind of an AliExpress back to school sale video, but with a difference. So it's more going to be talking about the watches that are AliExpress pieces, obviously, that I've had in for review or bought myself over the years of running the channel, and which ones I always go back to and still wear. So because some of these are going to be a few years old now, the prices have gone up since I got them. They're still not expensive, and I think they're still really good value for what you're getting. So if there's any in here that you don't already have in your collection, I definitely recommend them. But let's get into them and see whether you recognise a lot of them and if you already own some. If you do, let me know down in the comments and what you think of them. So first up, we've got the Proxima PX1703. So in my review, I think I compared this to a Christopher Ward and a Zenith, or basically a combination of the two, for obvious reasons, but it is a really impressive piece. So we've got a PT5000, or as you can see, you can get it with an SW200, but the price does jump up significantly if you go for the SW200. So I'd just be sticking with the PT5000 personally. Got loads of watches with them in now, never had any issues with any of them. And as I say, some of which I've had for 3-4 years now. We've also got sapphire bezel on this, which is really nice, not something you see all the time, as well as an on-the-fly adjustable clasp, and really good lume too. So if you don't already have one of these, and you want something a little bit different, and then next up, we've got this Boderry. So again, you've probably seen this one before. It was a pretty popular one, but there's a good reason for that. Firstly, it's a great price. Secondly, you've got plenty of different options if you want to mix it up a bit. Different straps, even a bracelet, different dials, different finishes, plenty to choose from. The one I have is this one. So I've got the bracelet and the strap. I'm not normally a NATO fan, but I have actually been wearing this one on the NATO quite a bit. But the titanium bracelet is also really good. So yep, it is titanium. At this price, I think that's really impressive, especially if you go for the bracelet option. If you don't go with that, it drops quite a bit. So if you're not that keen on the bracelet, then obviously go for that instead. Save yourself a bit of money. So there's a really nice sandblasted finish on this dial, which is quite subtle. You don't really notice it unless you're close up, but again, I do think it's nice. And again, I think that might vary depending on which version you go for. And then we've got an NH35, 100 meter wall resistance, pretty standard specs, but again, the titanium and just the overall finish is just really nice on this one. Next up, we've got this Baltany. Now this is probably one of my favourites. I've been wearing this a lot. So this is the Baltany S4056. So we've got that beautiful sunburst dial. You can get it in black. Yep, there you go, in black or the brown. I went with the brown, just something a little bit different. It's got a really deep, rich brown colour to it. It's a 36mm as well. Got the NH38, so the no date specific movement, which is always good to see. Nice dome crystal, adding a little bit of distortion, which you can probably see on some of the pictures. And the finishing overall is just really nice too. We've even got 200 meter water resistance, which was surprising. Probably overkill a bit, you don't really need it. 100 would have been fine. And again, the lume on this is actually pretty impressive, because we have got applied indices, so it's a lot better than you'd think. Baltany are pretty good when it comes to lume. So the next one on the list, if you've been around for a while with AliExpress watches, you'll definitely know this one. It's the Escapement Time Type B flieger, or the Type A, they do both. I went with the Type B, so I checked this out a long time ago now. I think I was the first one to check out Escapement Time watches, if I remember correctly. I originally got the NH35 version, but then I also got the PT5000 version, which is what this one is. And I think for that price, with a PT5000 movement, that's really good. So it's got a nice display case back on this one, so you can see that movement. And because it's the PT5000, you've also got that high beat as well. So you get the nice smooth sweep at the second hand. So it's a 40mm, got 100 meter water resistance, and a nice dome crystal as well. I think the first version, the NH35 version, just had a flat crystal. So they tweaked a couple of little bits with this one, which is why I ended up selling the NH35 version and keeping this one. So next on the list, we've got my favourite San Martin that I've checked out so far. I've checked out quite a few, but in my opinion, this is the best one they've done so far. And I think I actually titled the video something like that. And here it is. So really good looking one, this. Got a few different dial options. I went with the brown one, which has got that texture kind of sand look to it. They also do it in white if you want something a bit more subtle, and also a red. So it's 39mm, 100 meter water resistance. The finishing on the bracelet and the case is just impeccable, as we've come to expect now from San Martin. We've got the on-the-fly clasp, 100 meter water resistance. It's got BGW X1 lume, which is really good. San Martin's always good with lume, but BGW X1 is just taking it to another level. You've got the applied indices, and again, that nice integration with the crown. It's just a really nice case, I think. So much so, a few other brands have started using similar ones. I'm not going into massive detail on these. If you want to see the full reviews, I'll leave links to all of them down in the description. So next up we're going back down in budget a bit, well quite a bit compared to this San Martin, and that is with the Militado. So this is the Militado ML01. So obviously this is an homage of another watch, but they have tweaked it slightly. They've actually moved that sub-dial into the centre, so if you've got OCD, you're going to appreciate that. So this is a really nice dress watch, I think. So you've got 36mm, you've got that VD78 movement, it's a nice grab and go piece, 100 metre water resistance, a nice textured dial as well, and applied indices, which you don't always get at this price point. I think that is quite good the way they've done that. The dial is really impressive looking. It looks far more expensive than it actually is. But again, depending on what dial you go for, I don't think they're all textured. I think some are a sunburst or something, but the white one that I have is textured. So next up we've got the Seestern S434. So I actually did a comparison with this one and the San Martin, which is similar, and spoiler, if you haven't seen the review already, this came out on top in my opinion, for a few little reasons. I won't go into them, so if you do want to see why, check out that review, which again I'll be linking down in the description. But some of the standout things with this one are 39mm, got the NH35, 200 metre water resistance, sapphire crystal, on the fly adjustable clasp, and pretty impressive BGW9 loom on the applied indices. I've got the V1, I think. This is like the V2 they've got now, so they've tweaked it slightly. Not entirely sure what they've changed. I think the crown size has been changed, that's one of the things I vaguely remember, but I'm not sure what else. But either way, it's a really nice, impressive watch. This one's actually been to New York with me when I went then recently. No issues with it at all. So this next one coming up, you aren't going to know about, because it's not a brand that's talked about very often. So unless you've been around with the AliExpress watch scene for a while, or been subscribed to my channel for pretty much since the beginning, because I think it was one of the first watches I checked out, you might not know this one. And it's the Reef Tiger RGA 8236. So you might think it looks pretty similar to another watch. It's a Seiko Prestige homage. It's got some pretty nice stuff going on. So again, you've got plenty of different colours to choose from, so you should be able to find something you do like. And we have got quite a nice bracelet on this as well. And we've got that really nice textured sunburst dial, which is obviously the standout from the watch it's homaging. We've got the NH36 in this though, so we've actually got a day date. Some people will appreciate that. Other people might think it spoils the dial a bit. Guess it depends on what you prefer, the functionality or the aesthetics. But either way, I've been wearing it quite a bit anyway over the years. So we've got sapphire crystal on it as well. And if I remember correctly, it's got a display case back as well. So we've got sapphire crystal on this, solid bracelet, solid end links. It is only a butterfly clasp, but you kind of expect that with a dress watch. So next, we've got the Addiesdive MYH6, and this is a 1000 metre diver. So really impressive. Obviously I've not tested that out, so I can't verify that. But a few people in the comments on the video have said they've gone diving with it, obviously not to those depths, and it's been fine. So I imagine it'd probably be alright. It's got a helium escape valve, got sapphire crystal, screw down case back and crown and everything. And realistically, how many people actually go diving to that kind of depth anyway? So it's a bit deceptive, this one. It's got a large diameter, but the lug to lug, because it's got the concealed lugs actually underneath, integrated into the head of the watch, it wears smaller than you'd think. We've got really good loom on this as well, BGW9, got NH35, rock solid movement. I do like that we've got the date down at the 6 as well. And it's just really nicely built, especially considering the price. You're getting a lot of watch for not a lot of money with this one, which is why it is my favourite Addiesdive watch I've checked out so far. I think the value for money proposition with this just puts it above some of the other dress style watches. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video guys, something a little bit different. I do get a lot of people asking me what watches I wear and what are my favourites and what I'd recommend and stuff, so I thought I'd do this video. But that's it for this one guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.